औज़ुबिल्लाहिमिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है ओ लेवल फिज़िक्स का, वो है फोर्स एंड प्रेशर। सो स्टूडेंट, फोर्स एंड प्रेशर को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए हम यहाँ पर फोर्स और टर्निंग इफेक्ट को मूव कर पढ़ना की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तो जैसा कि आपके टॉप पर जो एक पिक्चर बनी हुई है, ये इंस्ट्रूमेंट कभी ना कभी आपने इस्तेमाल किया होगा या आपने इस्तेमाल करते हुए देखा होगा। तो ये एक रेंच है और ये एक नट है, और इसको घुमाने के लिए यहाँ से फोर्स लगाई जा रही है। जितना दूर से आप फोर्स लगाएंगे उतना ही टर्निंग इफेक्ट ज़्यादा पैदा होगा। अ लार्ज फोर्स एट द एंड लार्ज फोर्स एट द एंड, ये ज़्यादा फोर्स है वो एंड पे लग रही है, एंड द लॉन्ग स्पेनर गिव्स अ लार्जर टर्निंग इफेक्ट। अगर आप ये जो फोर्स है इस जगह से लगाएं जहाँ पे मैं अपने एरो को जहाँ पे मैं अपने एरो से आपको निशानदेही कर रहा हूँ, सही है। जैसे यहाँ पे अगर हम फोर्स लगाएं, इस जगह पे फोर्स लगाएंगे तो हमारे पास टर्निंग इफेक्ट जो होगा वो कम प्रोड्यूस होगा। तो जब भी इस तरह के इंस्ट्रूमेंट इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं, the person who is using that, they will create maximum force, so it is easy for them to start from here. Now we study the moment of force. It is difficult to tighten a net with uh, with your finger. Again, if you want to do this thing by your hand, so naturally you will feel problem. So what you have to do, what you have to do, you use spanner. So you can provide a larger turning effect. So this type of instrument provide larger turning effect. So the turning effect is even greater if you increase the force. It depends on two things. When you increase the force or use the longer spanner. तो अगर आप उसका जो डिस्टेंस है ज़्यादा कर लें तो तब भी फोर्स जो है वो ज़्यादा प्रोड्यूस होती है। द टर्निंग इफेक्ट ऑफ द फोर्स इज कॉल्ड a moment, and it can be calculated like this: the momentum of a force, the moment of force is equal to force multiplied by perpendicular distance. Now I'm going to explain this with the with this. I'm explaining this thing again. Now here you can see I'm using the drawing pen. Now this is a place. It shows the net position, and from here to this position it is called perpendicular distance. If you increase the perpendicular distance, you will get better or more torque. This thing is also called torque. Now if we see this big picture, so this person is moving this thing in clockwise direction. This direction is called clockwise direction, and so it has two type of direction. One is called clockwise and second is called anti-clockwise. Now the given below are some example of force and their moments. The moments are described as clockwise and anti-clockwise. So I again, you can see here, this thing is very important. When you rotate anything, so you use two direction. One is called clockwise direction. I'm removing all these signs. So I'm emphasizing on this thing again. Now, now, now this thing. Now this is clockwise. When you rotate, now you can assume if you are moving the tap, so either you will rotate for the opening, you will rotate into clockwise direction, and for closing, you will rotate into anti-clockwise direction. Normally, we do if we are opening the door handle. So, so you can note down that you are moving this thing in a clockwise direction. Then the door opens. Now it is anti-clockwise, mean opposite to the direction of clock. So the torque depends on two things. Or it has two directions. One is clockwise and other is anti-clockwise. Now, 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 now we can see that it depends on. Now, depending on the direction, the moment of force is also called torque. So, in simple word, we can say that it is a torque. This point is called torque. Now, torque has two directions. Now, what is the formula of torque? Force multiplied by perpendicular distance from the point. What is the direction of torque? It has two directions. One is clockwise and second one is anti-clockwise. We use the sign minus or plus. With the clockwise torque, we use minus sign, or we will take it as a negative. And anti-clockwise is the torque where we say this, it's a positive torque. So now we will revise this thing again. Now, what is torque? So torque is the turning effect. Torque is the turning effect of a force is called torque. What is the formula of torque is force multiplied by perpendicular distance. What is the direction of torque? There are two types of direction. One is called clockwise direction. The sign of clockwise direction is negative. And second one is anti-clockwise. That is called, that the sign we will take is positive. Now we will study few examples. For this purpose, now we will proceeding towards this. So I am now we will seeing now. This we will concentrate on this example. So try to understand properly. I have noticed that before when you are studying, you are not paying attention towards your subject. That's why you are feeling hurdled in your exam. Now try to understand this figure. Now this point O is a turning effect, a rotational point where the things is moving. This is this from this point, this is a perpendicular distance which is mentioned 3 meters. Now a force is applying here which shows with the red arrow and it mentioned 4 Newton. Now meter is the perpendicular distance and N means it's a force. Now the moment or torque is the formula is force multiplied by perpendicular distance, and 4 multiplied by 3, answer is 3 Newton meter. Now the unit of torque is 12 Newton meter. And what is the direction? Its direction is clockwise. Now here we can understand few of the units. The force has a unit of Newton, distance has a unit of meter, and the torque has the unit of Newton meter. And it has a direction. By in this figure, we can see that it is in a clockwise direction, which means the torque is in negative direction. Now we are moving towards our next figure. Our next figure, our next figure. So in the next figure, we will concentrate on this figure. So we see that O is the point which produce turning effect, and from here to this is a perpendicular distance which is shown 2 meter, and an arrow, red arrow shows the force, and here it is written 3 Newton. By 3 Newton I can easily understand that they are talking about force, and 2 meter we can easily find out it is talking about distance. Now according to the formula, 3 multiplied by 2, answer is 6 Newton meter. 6 Newton meter. 6 Newton meter. When it is written 7 Newton meter. We are talking about torque. We are talking about torque. So it is the unit. So try to learn these things very importantly, because the quantity 7 is nothing when it is written Newton meter. So it means we are talking about the physical quantity which is called torque. And now here you can see it is rotating in this direction which is anti-clockwise, and anti-clockwise torque is taken positive. Now here you can see this, this thing. Now in this figure देखिए यहाँ पे टर्निंग इफेक्ट यहाँ पर है, और ये जो डिस्टेंस इन्होंने यहाँ से या यहाँ से मूव करेंगे तब भी इस पर डायरेक्शन का कोई इफेक्ट नहीं आता, क्योंकि इनके दरमियान में, दोनों के दरमियान फोर्स और इसके दरमियान में परपेंडिकुलर डिस्टेंस के दरमियान में 90 का एंगल होता है. इट हैज़ अ 90 एंगल. आई एम राइटिंग हियर 90 एंगल हियर, and I am writing here 90 angle here. Now 90 angle here. Now we are moving towards our next topic. Our next topic I'm removing all these signs. So wait for a while. Now here we can see now 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 here is the principle of momentum. The movements in a diagram below, the bar is in the state of equilibrium or balance. State of balance or equilibrium. Balance, it's a translation of equilibrium. Mean note that that the anti-clockwise moment about O is equal to the clockwise moment. One turning effect balance the other. Now we see first of all the figure which it is talking about. Now here we can see this picture. Now in this picture you can see there is a support which shows with the arrow, meaning it is providing a force. Now you can see the distance from O to this point is 2 meters, but it has a greater force, 10 Newton. So 10 multiplied by 2 is 20 Newton meter, which is anti-clockwise. Now here we see the other side of the bar. Now from O to this point, the distance is 4 meter and it produces 5 Newton force. So when we multiply 5 multiplied by 4, the answer is 20 and it is clockwise. So both either support mean the distance is short but greater is force and distance is long but lesser is force. So this is the perfect example of balanced body or the body in equilibrium. So by this figure, you can easily understand that it produces two type of turning effect. One is called clockwise and second is called anti-clockwise. Now I am finishing my lecture here. So later things we will study in our next class. I hope that you have understood. Now here is a topic time to ask the question. So I'm opening your mic one by one. Please ask the question if you have anything in your mind regarding what we have studied. We have not studied figure number 2. I'm opening your mic. So please ask.
Hello.
जी हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Hello.
जी हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Alaikum
Hello.
Assalam.
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Sir, Assalam.
जी
Walaikum Assalam, sir.
any question
Sir, how will we know if the force is anti-clockwise or clockwise?
mean that with the direction mean you can
Yes.
first figure the hand is moving in the direction of clockwise direction, so that is called clockwise torque, and the sign with clockwise torque will be negative.
Okay.
Any other question?
Hmm.
Any other question?
Sir, there is no different when the newtons are different. Like there is 10 Newton and 5 Newton because the distance is different.
Means that is that depend on the force arm. Now you can see that in the right hand, in the left hand direction there is 2 meter, but they are applied 10 Newton force. So smaller distance and longer, greater force. It produce same effect. 10 multiplied by 20, 10 multiplied by 2 circle is 20. In the second
Yes, sir.
question,
Yes, sir.
distance is longer, force is सही है 4 multiplied by
Hmm.
5
Five.
answer is 20. अब if you are doing anything, अगर if you have to produce turning effect, what you have to do, you have to
But
longer distance, mean you have to apply less force. Okay, that produce,
yes, sir.
आपको का होगा फायदा होगा इससे, you will get mechanical advantage.
Hmm.
Any other question?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, I'm finishing this lecture, and if you have lost any part, I will upload on the YouTube so you can see this thing again. I hope you have understood.
Right.
I am ending
Okay.
my meeting.